Hello everyone, Michael Gray here from Michael Gray Fitness. Wanted to talk to you briefly today about the concept of muscle confusion. So muscle confusion was a term that I believe was popularized mostly by P90X. It may have been around before that. It may have been popularized before that, but as far as I know, that's kind of the product, the movement, the organization that really popularized that term. And it's just the idea that the body needs to be constantly stimulated in different ways. It needs to have different movements, sort of different order of movements in your workouts, different rep ranges, different rest periods, that kind of thing. It's got to kind of, things have to be constantly changing to keep the body guessing. Because if the body isn't constantly guessing, if you're not confusing the muscles, then it adapts quickly and progress stalls and that kind of thing. So it's something that gained a lot of traction several years ago, and it's kind of stuck around as an idea of something that is important. However, I disagree with this notion. I think, one, your muscles don't get confused. They don't have a brain. They aren't thinking. They aren't confused. But I don't know what's going on. That's not really how a muscle works. And I understand that term isn't meant to be taken literally, that the muscles are confused, but in some ways it's also to be taken literally that you're confusing them, you're keeping them guessing. So one, I just have a problem with that term in general. Two, I have a problem with the concept and its application. It doesn't really pan out, because here's the idea. The muscle confusion, the point is that the body doesn't adapt, that you're continually keeping the body guessing. But I would argue this. I would argue that your body adapting is actually a really good thing. If you, let's say you're squatting, doing a barbell back squat with 95 pounds, and you can do that for 6 reps. And let's say you do that for a while, and over time you can do maybe 8 reps with 95 pounds or 10 reps with 95 pounds. That's an adaptation. Your body has adapted to the load and has adapted to the movement, and as a response, muscle tissue, bone density, that kind of stuff, connective tissue has gotten stronger. It's adapted to that, and now you are a stronger person. You can move the same load with less effort, or you can now move more load with the same amount of effort that it used to take to move a lighter load. That's a really good thing. That's how you get stronger. That's how you increase your muscle mass. That's how you keep your metabolism elevated. So that adaptation is a good thing. Now, I will say you don't want to stay at an adapted place, right? If you can move 95 pounds, if you can squat 95 pounds for 8 reps now, you don't want to just stay there because you've adapted, and that's a good thing. You want to continually push that. But if you're constantly changing what you're doing, if you're constantly changing the exercise, every workout, every week is something completely different, you really don't have the opportunity to adapt. So you want to adapt to a degree, right? You want to get stronger. You want your body to adapt to these outside forces so that it can get stronger. It can keep your metabolism up. It can increase your muscle mass, that kind of thing. And then once you have adapted, then you want to, maybe you add 5 more pounds, maybe you do a couple more reps, that kind of thing. Then you want to push adaptation further. But if you don't do anything for any length of time, continually, consecutively, consistently, then you don't give the body the chance to adapt. You don't give the body a chance to get stronger, to adapt to these loads, for muscle tissue and connective tissue and bone density, all that stuff, to adapt to these loads. And while you may be working hard, there's a chance that you might be spinning your wheels. Okay, and I think oftentimes part of the reason that people don't make progress like they feel like they should be is because they're busy hopping from one thing to the next. They aren't doing any one thing long enough to let the body adapt to those demands. So those are my thoughts on muscle confusion. I'm not a big fan of the term. I'm not a big fan of the concept. I think that letting your body adapt to loads and to movements is a really, really good thing in the long run.